What's up guys, Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Lynx Collison Leather and Cookies, a fragrance for men. Now, if you're watching these videos, there's a bloody good chance you know what Lynx is. It's also known as Axe body spray in the United States, and they market almost exclusively to teenage boys. You've been in high school, you know what Lynx smells like. People, they'll be going out smoking a ciggy and then they'll douse themselves in the Australian shower, which is the Lynx body spray. It might bring back some terrible memories for some of you, but for a lot of you, you're probably quite partial to one or two of them. I know when I was in high school, I was quite partial to Dark Temptation. It's meant to be a chocolate, a chocolatey gourmand fragrance. And so I thought, I do fragrance reviews here. Why not cover a new Lynx body spray? Now, this is meant to smell like leather and cookies. I'm just going to read a little something from the Lynx website. The fragrance leather and cookies collides fresh notes with warm notes. The fresh top notes are given by citrus, mint and spices, and a subtle new leather scent. These fresh notes are contrasted with the warm notes of vanilla, cookie, maple syrup and creamy musks. Together, these scents result in an unexpectedly sophisticated fragrance that is full of surprises. So I'm just going to give a quick little spray to this little strip here. Now the room's going to reek like this for the rest of the week, but that doesn't matter. Straight off the bat, I do get quite a bit of mint. It's not a particularly realistic mint. It more smells like the mint that you'd find in like spearmint flavored bubblegum. A sort of candied mint, if you will. I also get some of that citrus as well. Maybe lemon. I'd be interested to know what citruses are actually, presented here in detail, but to my nose it smells a little lemony. Straight off the bat, this fragrance doesn't smell particularly gourmand. It does smell like a Lynx body spray, but it's got a little more, and I do mean a little more, complexity than their usual body sprays. About 5 or so years ago, Lynx actually released these tiny little bottles of fragrance that were actually more expensive than the usual Lynx fragrances, and they were called Urban, and I think there was a gold one as well. And they were meant to smell closer to a proper men's fragrance. They typically ran for about $10, and they had I believe the Urban one was tobacco. Anyway, that was quite a good fragrance as far as Lynx is concerned. Even my dad liked that one. Anyways, my point about all that was that this fragrance in particular smells like those sort of slightly higher end Lynx fragrances. Not that I would call them high end in comparison to pretty much anything else, but you know what I mean. As this is drying down, some of that vanilla does present itself pretty heavily. And I do get that sweet cookie-ish vibe. No leather yet though. If you actually look at the packaging, you'll see that there's a leather sort of material sort of presented there in the image, and then obviously the cookies there. So you're expecting sort of like an animalic gourmand fragrance. This is not animalic in the slightest. If there is leather here, it is barely there. It is not dirty in any way, shape or form, but I do get a touch of the gourmand, cookie, vanilla sort of vibe that this is going for. And as far as Lynx fragrances are concerned, this is definitely one of the better ones I've smelled. This does remind me of Dark Temptation, except imagine the chocolate is replaced with vanilla and you've got a pretty good idea. This also has a touch more citrus, especially at the top end where that citrus and the mint is really pronounced. Okay, I sprayed this on my hand earlier, and on my skin, there is a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of that leather that's made itself pronounced after about 10 minutes. It's just creeped up, it's sort of creeped its way in the background. I get the tiniest touch of leather, and it's not necessarily a clean leather either. There is something, look, I'm not going to go so far to say is that it's animalic, but there is that there is that sort of dry leather quality to it. And I kind of like it. Yeah, as far as Lynx fragrances go, you can do a lot worse than this. We're all partial to a bit of Lynx Africa or Dark Temptation. I know Dark Temptation was pretty popular here when I was in high school. But this one is definitely a step up as far as I'm concerned. The good thing about these Lynx fragrances is that you can get them on sale for about $2 to $3 depending on what shop you go to. Woolworths, Coles, even Kmart sells them sometimes. Even Chemist Warehouse and Priceline sell Lynx fragrances. You can basically get Lynx fragrances anywhere in Australia between $2 to $5 on or off special, and depending on what's seasonally available. Because Lynx does tend to mix things up and they release different fragrances pretty regularly. Like there's an Australia one, there's a New Zealand one you can get here. And there's a couple more in the Collison line that I want to review as well. So if you're interested in seeing those, just subscribe to the channel and I'll cover them eventually. These Lynx fragrances project pretty well considering that they're just body sprays. And if you spray them on your clothes, you'll be able to smell it for weeks. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to spend hundreds of dollars on a fragrance when they can just get a can of this for $3, spray it over their clothes, and they're good to go for weeks. Although, please wash your clothes more than once every 3 weeks. Don't do that. You know, there's a reason why these Lynx and Axe body sprays still exist today. For what you pay, they're decent. You're not going to smell particularly sophisticated, you're not going to smell like James Bond or, you know, anything like that. But for $3, you can do a hell of a lot worse, and it's certainly better than smelling like crap, you know what I mean? And this one, Lynx Collison Leather and Cookies, not bad. Not bad. I'd actually recommend this to people, especially my younger viewers. If you can find this where you are for like $3, pick it up. Go nuts with it. Take it to school. You know, impress all your friends with how good you smell. No need to spend $100 on some Gucci fragrance. Just buy Lynx. Obviously, I'm half joking with that, but you know, there is merit to this sort of product. Anyways, that's about all that I've got to say on Lynx Leather and Cookies. Have you ever worn this before? If you have, let me know in the comments below. And until our next video, my name is Ozzy Marcel, and I'll catch you guys around.